Om Ganganapate Nama, Sri Guru Bhyo Nama, Hariom. The topic issue is astika and nastika. And in way we can say believer of God and non-believer. And then first we have to have a clarity. What is God? God means that which is ever present, everywhere present, omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. But then normally our worldly parlance, one who accepts a God is astika. And now this because God is beyond time and space. Is it so in case of an astika? Because he believes God, but then that belief of God is it carry forward throughout? Suppose from wake state to suppose 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Now in this 15 hours, what is the time the godhood is upheld? What is the time space godhood? So this is one's own thing. Then, but we may say how this godhood has to be comprehended. We are within puja room, we are connected to a deity, and we are taking names, some rituals and all. But how is that afterwards the relevance of the God? Because then because God has shown, has depicted in His instruction, He is nothing other than Him exists. He is all pervading. No, His Shakti has assumed the gross creation. His subtle state is our mind, subtle elements of which the mind is made. It is, though impressions of the mind are distinct to oneself, then and the God principle is directly operating as I am. So now there is nothing, there is no space for non-God. Time space also owes to God. So after stepping out of the puja, we are in action, and those actions are governed by the God's laws. And those laws are elucidated in that Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, 13 sloka, 42 attributes which God has Himself announced. These constitute the adherence to this constitute to be devotion, and it is dharma. He is held dearer by me. He is priya to me. Now, once we come out of the puja, then our actions should conform to in whatever role and we are playing in pursuit of artha kamas. Then we see whatsoever we see the gross, there is a Shakti. This is what is the third eye. So Shakti, we see the five elements. It is Shakti's formations, like we see a chair, we are traced to wood and its back end atomic structure and all energy. Like that, behind one's own body and creation, if we see, then God is held. And if we see our emotions, they're all illuminated names and form illumination, then God. And by our actions conforming to God laws, God. So this is the way to retain Godhood throughout. Then only that thing astika. Suppose the God principle is lost again only in the evening, is retained during the entire day, and again when we come into the puja, it is does it not amount to court-martialing His existence without any limitations, without any limitations? Then, but whereas that very God, we have made Him to a localized entity. Then the Godhood Godhood is denied. It is court-martialing, and same way. And what we have seen that how to retain God, because with God in our puja time we worship with Panchamrita, and our actions, our thoughts, deed, words, and perceptions should be as emulate Panchamrita. They are sweeter. They never hurt anybody. They make a person to delight like a flower. They are sugandha. They are disseminating. That is that is the message, because these are nobody offer thorns and stones and dirt objects to God. So samely, that indulgence, that in after puja are not acceptable because he is ever present, everywhere present. That's why we say that wherever go, I go. But puja should not become one karma. Every karma should become a puja. That is the higher thing because God, it is not, it is a big worshipping God in a time, in a thing like A for apple, but A for all. That is a beginner, okay. But it has to be carried forward. Otherwise, we are trying to depotentize the God. What we are, it is only limited, it is derogatory, actually. It is derogatory. Second point is, God is Sarvajna. He knows everything. So all our actions should fit into His laws. He is a Sakshi. Because as Garud Purana says, there are 18 witnesses constantly tracking. Because we are caught up in Papa Bhiti. Papa Bhiti and Daiva Prema. No, actually, we are caught in Daiva. That is, we are not. Now we have adoration for the God, but God's laws, uh, it is given a go by. So we should. God is not to be feared. God is to be loved. We have to love our parents, but parents' instruction we have to be concerned. So Papa Bhiti means don'ts. Don't should will be of concern. Not we should not be concerned about God. He is our parent. He loves us. So he is aware of our subconscious because he is Sarvajna. He is subtle, and he is a witnesser. Now, whatever we say, is it okay? Is it okay? What all we take care in our mundane thing, is it really okay from his point of view? From his point of view, not from our point of view. Because whatever we do consciously, subconsciously, everything is recorded. So, because he is Sarvajna. Now, this is second way of court-martialing God that he is, because I visited one shop, that camera was there. Then he is so alert. Then I told him during the intervening period, you sit. Then he said, no sir, there is a camera, I am being under watch of my boss. I have to be disciplined. Now see, if at all, if this is an essential that we are continuously under the scan of God, whether our conduct should be such that it has to be upheld by the boss. So what boss has already said, the Ishvara, that how we have to talk, how we have to behave, how we have to function, and the path we have to take in our pursuits of Arthakama. So that is one thing, and that's why we have to retain Godhood throughout. Means the physical entities we have to trace to Shakti. Our transaction in the materialistic world, it has to conform to the God's laws. Our emotions, we have to bhava, we have to trace it to bhati, like a film reel, back end light, actually it is illuminating the thing. So we are conscious, and the I am very much who is willing that awareness, it is awareness, I am to trace it to awareness. Then there is no second. Now God pursuits are not one karma, but every karma has become Godhood. Because this is what is bhakti means, to hold. What to hold? Daivam Manusha Rupena, Daivam, everything. God is in the form of Kristi, in the Srishti. Isha Vasya Midagam Sarvam. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. When we say, then this thing, because the otherwise would bring issues. Because what we have, we say God, Sahasra, 1,000 hands, 1,000 names, all these 1,000 is mnemonic for infinity. There is nothing which is non-God. So 1,000 is a mnemonic. Now everybody we are encountering, that is the expression of the God in that. That's what he said in that Virat Arupa of God, Krishna, that I am everywhere. I am pervading 3 worlds, 14 lokas. Then everything creation is sibling of the God. So there has to be this astika, means there has to be a feel of non-God, nothing is there. So then only will be one gets a thing, that is Because whatever we do subconsciously, everybody, suppose whosoever, consciously they are different, subconsciously their truth is, reality is hidden. Even Ravanasura also, he enacted, he is inwardly a demon, but outwardly he enacted to be a sadhu when he has kidnapped Sita Mata. That means, and then see, there has to be, now God knows our thinking. Now outwardly, whatever, so many things, issues of disputes happening, because all these people at one time presented as if they are noble, virtuous, and but the reality is hidden. That reality, subconscious hidden, is known to God. So there has to be a constant inner auditing perception, and to know one's deficiencies and others' good is always gives the benefit. The vice versa does nothing, and God is to be loved. God loves to be feared, because he does. There is nothing which is non-God, so we cannot be please him. Like Satyabhama, we have seen, she tried to please with what not, but Rukmini Mata with just offering. That's why it is said Patram Pushpam Phalam. That's why the word Yajna Karma has come. Everything. So there is no space for non-God. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavir, Brahmagno, Anta Rama, Brahmaitena Gantevam. The offerings to the Yajna are God, the performer is God, and for whom it is performed, it is God. So there is no question of non-God. That is Yajna Karma. So whichever are our pursuit which are materialized by forbidden ways. Now, if it is by the known, the approved, the endorsed path, God has 1,000, he will add once there is a, and if the otherwise would happen, whatever is by acquired by wrong ways, he has 1,000 hands, he can delete also. That's why finally at the end of the thing, whatever is one deserves, one is getting the fruit after that only. Suppose the attainments of the prosperity within, like this is what is symbolic of Lakshmi Narayana. Lakshmi is our material, and it is accompanied by Narayana, means governing laws. Then it gives. Suppose somebody has earned 50,000, but out of that 10,000 is deserving. Only 10,000 part of the happiness will come. That is the thing. Because for that 10,000 only Narayana is there. This extends to power. When it is auspicious, Shiva is held. When one's knowledge is helping for a yajna purpose, for the cause of the thing. Like that, these concepts are also are endorsing the protocols governing these God laws. So astika, means upholding the Godhood ever, everywhere. He is omniscient, sarvajna, sarva vyapakatvam, sarva shakti. And then this alpajna, it is a minuscule operating that one. So there is under watchdog of the God principle, everything is happening. So one has to be aware of it and glorify the God in that his stature, his divine stature. So there cannot be astika, means it is God's laws are constantly understood, the substratum is understood. Nastika means if God laws are not taken into account after puja, then if it is limited to God, to that thing, because he is ever present, he is all pervading. That is the indicator. Puja, our names and forms, all indicator. That is the linga, means he is there also, and there is no space where he is not. That's why that pranavata is our visible, the creation. The creator's awareness is projecting, it is infinite. That's why a pratima is there. That it's a globe for earth. Now we are connected to globe and we are not respecting the mother earth. Then the national flag for country. So these all rituals are nicely, they are making a thing, but limiting to country to only globe. How it is it so? It is an indicator that the country means the everywhere, Bhumata. Now, we now like that, ignoring the Godhood pervasiveness is only one is blind to his glory. That is Nastika. So Asti Brahman, Asti. That which existence is God. A God means existence. Existence is Jnana. Jnana means existence. And all that the creation is the expression, pratibimba of that thing. That whenever we see waves, it is nothing but ocean. Pots clay. Say grass forms Shakti. Should be traced to Shakti. God's last to the God's glory, God's protocols and bhavas to God, bhati light, and I am to consciousness. I am to God principle jnana. So with this, now this state alone constitute to be an astika. Means he has accepted God. There is nothing like non-God. God means nothing other than God should exist. If anything exists, that will bring thing. So this is the part of retaining the God through. Tasma sarveshu kaleshu. Because our Shruti says, Indu Garadandu Ledu, where there is no place. Evaniche Jagam, Evaniche Jannichu Jagam, Evani Loparanundu. Because in whosoever that God is, has to be all pervading, ever present, Asangaha, Sarvavyapi, Anantaha. So that is the principle of God. It is like an aircraft moving in space, or bird in space, or a cloud. Our every bhavana, our every action, our every thought, our every entity operating in the divine Chidakasha, like submarine or a fish in the ocean. It is moving, it is within, without. Antar Bahishata Sarvam Vyapya Narayana Sthiti, we always say. So there is nothing like non-God. So Astika means who comprehend God everywhere. That is the, then it is. Otherwise, wheresoever time and space, the God principle is lost, missed, then that is a non-God. Now one has to assess what is one's Godhood out of 15 hours by what is the time, that percentage. So it is a fraction. And the space, if some space versus the space accepted God. So if we division, suppose God would have taken 1 hour, for 1 hour God is there, for 15 hours is not there. So what is the thing? 1 by 15. So it is, that is the micro. So then how can it be when God, whereas God is pervading time, all beyond time. Now how is that thing? So if God is confined to a thing, then the rest of the time become Nastika. There is no Godhood. So that is the concept. This will make the life glorified. This is Astika. These words are so. Asti Brahmanga. What exists is God. So that existence is everywhere. So that has to be upheld, which is glorified by our holy masters. Hariom.